Hello everyone, welcome to GATE NPTL. So today we are going to solve a two more question from GATE 2025 from psychology. So the topic of the question is from development across the lifespan. So let's read the question now. So this particular GATE question is a match the following. So which asks us to match the following theories of aging. So there are certain theories of aging. So in this particular questions, they have given four types of theories of aging. So in P, they have given cellular clock theory. In Q, they have given wear and tear theory. In R, they have given free radical theory. And in S, they have given activity theory. And the question is to find out which options in the other column is matching with this P, Q, R, and S, this four types of theory. So before solving what this match the following is, let's try to understand what are these four types of theory. So starting with cellular clock theory is basically one of the biological basis of aging theory. So which was given by Hayflick in 1977. So in this theory, the major focus is this theory says that the cells are limited in the number of times they can reproduce to repair the damage. So which basically means that a particular cell can be reproduced or remade only for a certain period of time, and it is limited. And the evidence of the theory is the existence of telomeres, the structures on the end of the chromosomes that shortens each time a cell reproduces. So let's imagine this is a chromosome, and at the end of each chromosome there is something called telomeres. So at the end of each chromosome there is something called telomeres. Telomeres. So they are saying that this telomeres has a certain sh- lifespan which becomes shortened after each reproduction of the cell. So once the particular cell is being reproduced again and again and again, the size of the telomeres gets reduced. So at a certain point, it stops reproducing. So they say that this is one of the reasons why a certain individual ages. So when the telomeres are too short, the cells cannot reproduce, and the damage accumulates and results in the effect of aging. So this is what cellular clock theory talks about. So basically, it says that a particular cell can be reproduced only a certain number of times, and it is limited, and this is the reason why aging is happening. So let's move on to the next theory, which is called wear and tear theory. So as the name suggests, the theory points to outside influences. So there are many reasons why someone is aging based on this theory. So one among the reason is stress, physical exertion, and bodily damage is known as wear and tear theory. So they say that the body organs and cell tissue simply wear out. So let's take an equipment. So if we use it for 3 to 4 years, it wears out and it stops working. So in the same way, they say that our body cells and tissues just wear out after the repeated use and abuse. So damaged tissues accumulate and produce the effect of aging. So that's what wear and tear theory talks about, which means our cells wears out after certain number of days. Then coming to the latest version of aging theory, which is called free radical theory. So this is one of the latest theories. So which talks that it's an updated version of wear and tear theory, which says that free radicals are oxygen molecules that have an unstable electron, which is negative particle. So they said there is something called unstable electron, which bounces around the cell body. So which there is an unstable electron which bounces around the oxygen molecules, so stealing the electron from other molecules, and this increases the damage to the structures inside the cell. Just imagine that there are free radicals of oxygen molecules which are highly unstable, and it is keep on bouncing inside the structure of the cell. So this causes damage in the cells. So this is the reason why the aging is happening according to free radical theory. So as people get older, more and more free radicals do more and more damage. So basically, when there is some damage happening in the cell and days go by, so people get older because of this damage happening again and again. So that's what free radical theory talks about. Coming to activity theory. So activity theory basically says that an elderly person adjusts more positively to aging when remaining active in some way, which means even if a career ends, there are other ways to stay active and involved in life. This theory doesn't talk about the biological basis of aging. They says that how an individual adapts to aging. So this theory says that when an elderly person is more active in his life, he takes aging in a positive way rather than a negative way. So here it says elderly person who volunteers at hospitals or schools, or who take up new hobbies or throw themselves full time into old ones. So they say that those who maintain their friendship with others and continue to have a social activity have been shown to be happier and live longer than those who withdraw themselves from activity. So this is basically how an individual takes up themselves towards aging, how active they are in their end stage of life, how they take aging, how they look at aging at that older age. So this says that when an individual is basically active, participates and volunteers in many things, he take aging in a positive way. So these are the four types of aging theories which we have discussed. So let's get back to the question and let's try to solve it. So we have cellular clock theory. So cellular clock theory. So let's read the options. Option one is oxygen molecules with unstable electron. So oxygen molecules with unstable electron we discussed in free radical theory. So free radical theory was talking about oxygen molecules being unstable and it's damaging the cells. The second question, elderly person who remains active in some way adjusts more positively to aging. So where we discussed about being active and positively volunteering in certain stuff, it was from activity theory. And from where did we talk about cells are limited in number of times they reproduce to repair damage. So that was spoken in cellular clock theory. And lastly, body organs and cell tissues wear out with repeated use. It was from the wear and tear theory. So we have P, Q, R, S, and P was in third one. Question Q was in fourth one, and question R was in first one, and question S was in second one. So where do we have this option of 3, 4, 1, and 2? It is option D. So here the right answer is option D. For further reference, kindly refer to the following books. Thank you.